So what we are investigating now in Midrash Rabbah is, why did God create man in the first place? Maybe you think it's a question that's presumptuous to even find the answer to, but it seems that the Midrash actually is addressing this question. Okay, so this is the parable. You have a minister who decides to do something tremendously altruistic. He wants to take all the people who are mute, who can't speak, and he puts them in a castle and takes care of them. And they are tremendously grateful for what the minister did. But they can't express themselves, so they use their hands. In another collection of this Midrash in Elkut Shimoni, they actually take their hat off to the minister. But what happens is the minister says, wow, I can't believe I'm getting so much praise for this. I wonder what would happen if I filled this castle with people who actually speak. Imagine the praise I would hear. So he does that. He brings in people that could speak, and lo and behold, they rebel against him. They take over the place, and they declare, this is our castle. It's not yours, it's ours. So total failure. And the minister realizes, this isn't working. I'm going to have to go back to the original population that was here, that had some gratitude. So the Midrash often leaves a parable like that, so you to figure it out. But this time, actually, the Midrash spells out exactly what it means. God created the world with water. The world was full of water. Then God gathered in this water, and yet, in order to show the dry land that was on the third day of creation, yet the water, according to other verses in Tanakh, showed tremendous gratitude and praised God, not verbally, because it didn't have an ability to do that, but praised God initially and consistently. So what happened? God said, wow, I think I will fill this world with people as well. Imagine the praise that will come of that. And wouldn't you know it, he brought on people, and eventually they rebelled against God, and they said the same thing. This is our planet. We're taking over. We don't recognize you. Total failure. So God had to return to the original ones who were filling up the earth, namely the water, and that, of course, is the flood. What's disturbing, of course, is one could walk away from this and say, wow, God needs praise. What is beautiful here, and you have to concentrate in, this parable is actually answering the question, why did God create mankind in the first place? And the answer is simply, God wanted to imbue the idea of gratitude in people. God wanted creatures with gratitude. And think of how powerful gratitude could be. Because if you actually had gratitude, if you actually recognize that God created the world, and this complex ecosystem that we have that supports us was actually put here for our benefit, and you had some gratitude, that would probably lead to respect for elders, respect for parents, respect for scholars, respect for ethical laws that help us live in harmony. Amazing power of gratitude. And you see, of course, that other examples, the famous story told of Abraham, when he was trying to teach people about monotheism. He would invite them into his tent for a meal, and afterward people get up and say, thank you very much. And Abraham would say, what are you thanking me for? You have to thank God who created the world and created this food. And so he got them to understand the idea of having gratitude to God, the one who created the world. So let's just wrap up by talking about, why was it specifically a flood at the end? Why was that used? So, of course, on a simple level, the Midrash said that the world was originally full of water, and the water praised God, even though it couldn't articulate its praise, and so now it's being rewarded, as opposed to mankind, which had no gratitude and did not praise God. But on a deeper level, if you think of it, there's the verse on day 3 of creation talks about Yukavu Hamayim, that the water gathered itself in. Now water, naturally spreads out and finds its own level. That's what it naturally does. but it was asked to gather itself in, go against its desire to spread out, and in order to show the emergence of dry land. So the water listened to God and did what it was asked to do. But the commentators say that the word yukavu also is related to the word tikva, that hope, that the water, although listened to God and did whatever God asked, it hoped that one day there would come a time when it could be rewarded and spread out again. So this, of course, flood was its reward, that it could spread out again. But why was it used as a punishment against mankind? Because mankind did the opposite of water. Mankind did not restrain itself. If you remember, we spoke a few weeks ago about the words Bnei Elokim, which the Midrash said was people of power and privilege, people who were judges, who abused that power and took advantage, especially of women, and just tormented people who were helpless and innocent. This is what happened to the world. People's worst desires for power went unchecked. So God sort of took the water, which was able to restrain itself, and used it to punish those who could not restrain itself. Because at the end of the day, God was looking for an attitude of gratitude, which the water exhibited, and it unfortunately had to take its toll on mankind, which could not muster any kind of gratitude for the beautiful, amazing, complex world which they found themselves in. Have a great Shabbos.